Captain Beat is the latest addition to Mixed In Keys Captain plugin line. Aimed at making the creation of drum patterns as easy as possible, Captain Beat is designed for those just starting out in production and for experienced producers who are looking to quickly come up with new ideas. So in this video, we'll take a look at Captain Beat and its features to see if it's something that you might be interested in picking up. And if you're interested in more reviews just like this one, make sure you subscribe to this channel. But now let's take a look at Mixed In Keys Captain Beat plugin. So once you have the Captain Beat plugin installed, all you need to do is open up your DAW of choice. Here I'm using Ableton Live, then just select Captain Beat and load it to an empty MIDI track. And it'll open up like any other VST plugin or virtual instrument. Now we're just waiting for it to open up. And here you can see that Captain Beat follows a very similar layout as the other Captain plugins by Mixed In Key, where we have your main pattern window right here that's tabbed in two different layers. And we'll go over this in a little bit. And then on the left side is where you'll select your different drum patterns as well as your different drum kits. Then under that, we have a high pass, low pass filter, much like you would find on a DJ controller, mixer, or your DJ software. And then an overall volume control for the entire drum pattern. Now, as you can see here, we have a basic 4 on the floor kick drum pattern. So that's just one kick drum going. So let me just go ahead and have that playing so you can get an idea of what that sounds like. Very simple, you know, the backbone of the majority of dance tracks out there. And say I wanted more than that. So, you know, I wanted a full drum pattern instead of having to either play in using a MIDI keyboard or drum pads or just clicking in a pattern using my mouse. All I have to do is just change the pattern here. And then I have a whole drum pattern. And there's tons of these. As you can see, I can just keep scrolling through a bunch of them. And right here, you can see that there's tons of different drum patterns. So you can go by genre and find just more and more as I keep scrolling down. There is a bunch of different drum patterns that you can select from. And then what's cool is that the drum patterns aren't, you know, bound to one kind of drum kit. So once we have a pattern figured out, we can start scrolling through our different drum kits and really find something that works for us. Now, because this is inside of our DAW right here, I can actually change the tempo here in Ableton Live, here at the top left. And the drum pattern will just go ahead and follow. Just like if we were using sync in our DJ software and we were moving the pitch fader around. Very simple, very easy. Now, taking that to the next step, let me just pick something a little bit more simple. So say I had a pattern like that, but say I didn't like the kick drum. So that's where we can get more in depth into the pattern window, where right here under these tabs right here under basic, I can actually go ahead and change the kick sample itself. So I can find a kick that I like. And then I can even use these other controls right here to shape it even further. So hold on, let's find a different kick. Okay, there we go. Yeah, let's stick with that one. And then I can change the way the actual kick drum sounds by using these controls. And notice, not only is it changing the way it sounds, but it's also changing the way it looks right here. So not only can you hear the sound changing, but you can see it as well, which is awesome. Now, besides these 4 controls to change the way the sound is affected, I can also change the volume per sound as well as the panning per sound, which is nice. And again, as I click through all of these other drum sounds, notice that I have individual controls for each sound. Then from there, I can even add effects by going into this tab, where I have another high pass, low pass filter here. Then I have a reverb and a delay. So let's go ahead and try adding some reverb to this crash cymbal. Okay, maybe a little less. Okay, maybe I can try adding some delay. And just like that, I have a whole drum pattern created and customized, and I've made it my own by not just using the drum pattern here, but also switching up the drum kit right here and then going through, and I could change individual sounds just like I changed the kick drum in this example. Now, once you have your actual drum pattern created, this tab right here actually is how you take the drum pattern that you've came up with from Captain Beat and drag it into your DAW. And it gives you some really nice options. So you can just take the actual audio, you can take it per channel, meaning per drum sound. So notice as I click through, this little preview of what it looks like, the waveform looks like, changes. So for instance, I can click and drag just this, and this will be just the kick drum. Or if I take that right there, now I have just a hi-hat. Or if I want the whole thing, I can take this right here, which is master audio, and then this will be the entire drum pattern that I've created with all the different drum sounds, all ready to go with just one click and drag of my mouse. Now what's also cool is that I can also take the MIDI, meaning each of the actual notes. So this is all just the actual kick drum, I believe. No, that was the open hi-hat. Or I could take the entire pattern and have all of the notes, you know, dragged out and taken into my DAW of choice. That simple, that easy, and I can tweak both the MIDI and the audio really quickly, really simple. It's so fast not to just create the actual drum pattern, but to take it and have the audio ready to go to drag into your DAW and ready to use for your beat that you're making. Now, outside of just using these pre-made patterns, you can also add in your own parts of the beat by just double clicking, or you can use these keyboard shortcuts right here. So for instance, S would be adding in a clap, just like that. I could tap one in, or I can actually use this pencil feature and just, instead of having to double click, I can just click singular just like this and add in whatever drum sounds. I have no idea how this is gonna sound. It probably sound terrible, but let's give it a listen. Not too bad. So it's really simple to not only take a pre-made pattern, put in a pre-made drum kit and edit it to make it your own, but you can also edit those patterns and create something that's completely original, something that you've created from scratch, all within Captain Beat. And just as simple as once I have my drum pattern made, I can just take the audio or take the MIDI and I'll be ready to go and work on the next part of my beat. Now from here, you can see this top row of tabs. I have these 4 song sections right here. So right here, I was just working on the verse drum pattern. Now if I go to pre-chorus, I have pretty much a clear drum pattern, and I create something completely different from the verse section and have up to 4 patterns saved and ready to go that I can click and drag into my DAW. So not only can I work on just this pattern and have to worry about editing it, but I can really create all the different drum patterns I need for my songs, or a lot of the drum patterns I would need for my songs, and just have them all ready to go and just click and drag them into my DAW and have them ready to use for each different section of the song that I'm creating. Now, another great thing that Mixed In Key does with their Captain's plugins is they have this how-to guide right here at the top. So if you click on that, it'll actually take you to a website and go through a quick how-to guide of how to use each of the Captain's plugins, including the new Captain Beat. So if you are kind of lost or you don't know what any of the controls do and you need some help, this is a great resource, and it's right in the actual plugin itself. So just one click and you can probably find your answer here.
Captain Beat makes creating a complete drum beat from start to finish easy, even for a beginner. With its high quality drum samples and pre-existing patterns that fit a wide variety of genres, you're sure to come up with something that'll fit your project. And as an experienced producer myself, I can appreciate how fast creating a beat can be when using this plugin. Now, for both beginners and seasoned producers alike, getting an idea out as quickly as possible is key to making more of the music that you're looking to create. And Captain Beat does a great job of helping you do just that. Now, we'd like to ask a question to all the producers and aspiring producers out there. How do you come up with your drum beats? And do you think a plugin like Captain Beat can help you speed up that process? Go ahead and leave that down in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more tech reviews just like this one. Now, get good, get out there, and make the moments.